Yo, what's happening everyone? Jinsula here with a brand new Pokemon Go video, and today we're going to be covering everything that's going to be happening within Pokemon Go the week of September 23rd until the 29th. This week is going to be a little bit lighter, especially compared to the previous week, but there's going to be one raid boss that's going to be coming to Pokemon Go that you will want to pay attention to. I'll get more into that later, but first let's recap how this previous week went. We of course had the Psychic Spectacular event, which debuted the Pokemon Beldum in Dynamax raids. And I think a lot of players were pretty hyped up about this, mainly because it was the first Dynamax Pokemon that was introduced into Pokemon Go through Max Battles. And it certainly drew a lot of attention to Max Battles, but if you ended up getting yourself a Beldum that is worth evolving, like if you got one that is 96% IVs or higher, do not evolve it just yet because you will want to wait until December Community Day, because if you evolve it during that event, you're going to get yourself a Metagross with Meteor Mash, which is going to be miles ahead of any other Metagross you could have. So for all the people who were actively engaged with Max Battles over this past week and got themselves a really good Beldum, then I would say that you should hold on to that Beldum and then evolve it once we get to that December Community Day. It's still safe to power up all of the max moves and different things like that, but I would hold off on evolving it. That's really the only thing you need to do. Now, also over this past week, we had the Passimian and Orunguru Research Day, which actually went really well for myself. I always am a big fan of these research days, and for myself, I picked up a couple dozen shinies along with a 96% IV shiny. So overall, it was a really successful day for me, and I think it was for a lot of other players as well. In this particular research day, they actually had much easier tasks than they usually do, and I think that went over really well within the Pokemon Go community. I've been seeing that as a bit of positive feedback from the community to Niantic, so hopefully in future research days, they actually continue this on and have much easier tasks so that you're not sitting there doing a lot of things that could be quite difficult. So yeah, kudos to Niantic. I actually think this one went really well. So yeah, this past week was full of a lot of really good events and a lot of debuts, but this coming week is going to be a little bit less of that and more about raiding. And the reason for that is because we are going to be getting Zacian, I'm still really bad at pronouncing that name, but we're going to be getting this Pokemon back in 5-star raids, and it's one that you definitely need to raid for. I know raid battles are kind of broken right now with how they're doing charge attack timings and different things like that, but if you're able to get the numbers and actually raid for this Pokemon, you definitely should. On top of the shiny form making its debut this week, you really need to prioritize getting yourself a 100% IV of this legendary Pokemon. And the reason why I say that is because Zacian is really good for the Master League within the Go Battle League. Wow, I actually pronounced it correct that time. Yeah, I'm trying. I'm still learning. Some of these Pokemon names are really confusing. Zacian is one of them. It took me almost 2 years to pronounce Rayquaza correctly, so yeah, any case, Zacian is going to be back in raid battles and you do not want to miss out on it. In terms of when it's going to be in raid battles, it's going to be in 5-star raids starting on September 26th, and it's going to go all the way until October 4th. So you have about a week to raid for this Pokemon, and then up until that point, you were of course going to still have Groudon in raids. So yeah, starting September 26th, you need to go out and raid as many of these as you can. It's definitely going to be a high priority 5-star legendary, and you do need to get that 100% IV if you could. But speaking of which, because Zacian is not going to be in raid battles until September 26th, that means this Wednesday on September 25th, we're still going to have Groudon for the Wednesday raid hours. So if you still need to get yourself a good Groudon or you need to farm up more candies, then do keep in mind that this Wednesday's raid hour is going to be featuring this Pokemon. So it's going to be a great opportunity for you to go out and farm it. If you still need yourself a good Groudon, then the best time to go for it is during Wednesday raid hours. Now also during this week up until September 26th, we're going to have Mega Houndoom in Mega Evolution raids, and then afterwards we're going to have Mega Gardevoir in Mega Evolution raids. Both of these are really good Mega Evolutions, but I would say that Mega Gardevoir is going to be a lot better. If you still do not have enough Mega Energy for Mega Gardevoir, then you definitely need to do a couple of them, because Mega Gardevoir is by far one of the best fairy types in the game, so you do not want to miss out on that. And then finally, this coming weekend, we're going to have Shadow Raikou continuing to be in Shadow Raids. So if you want that Shadow Legendary, then make sure you go out and raid for it during the weekend. It's a very good Shadow Legendary to have, and in my opinion, it's one of the best electric types you can have in your collection. So do not miss out on that. Now this Tuesday, September 24th, we're going to have a spotlight hour featuring the Pokemon Machop, and it's also going to have a double catch candy bonus. So if you have a whole bunch of saved research rewards that you want to collect candy for, that will be a good time to actually catch them because you're going to get double the candy for any Pokemon you catch. Okay, now let's talk about what's going to be active in the Go Battle League. So starting on September 24th, going all the way until October 1st, we're going to have the Open Great League, Open Ultra League, as well as the Open Master League available for battle. So if you have a really good team for any of these leagues, then now would be a good time to actually farm up for some higher ratings. It's going to be a good time of PvP in my opinion. I always like it when they have all three leagues available because if you're struggling in one of the leagues, you could jump over to another league and maybe you'll do a little bit better. I tend to find that the gameplay feels a lot better if they have more leagues available as opposed to just the Great League with a specialty cup. So yeah, this is a good period for you to do some PvP battles. Make sure you get on it. All three of the different leagues are going to be available. And then finally, in terms of in-game events, we're going to have the Legendary Heroes event starting this week. It's going to be happening starting on Thursday, September 26th at 10 o'clock a.m. local time, and it's going to be all about Zacian along with Galarian Wheezing. During this event, you're going to be able to evolve your regular Coughings into Galarian Wheezing for the very first time, and this means you have the opportunity of getting yourself a Shadow Galarian Wheezing if you happen to have a Shadow Coughing in your collection. That's a pretty cool deal, in my opinion. It's going to be the first time we're ever going to be able to get that, so if you happen to have any good Coughings in your collection, then make sure you evolve them to get Galarian Wheezing. It's definitely the better out of the two different Wheezing forms. So yeah, that's something you should definitely utilize during this week. So overall, this week is going to be all about raiding. It's going to be all about raiding for Zacian. That's basically the one legendary Pokemon that should be on the focus for every single Pokemon Go player, considering that this one legendary Pokemon does not often come back to raid battles. It's definitely one you should get right now while you still can. And if you are able to get the 100% IV version of it, you should definitely max it out because it is an absolute powerhouse within the Go Battle League, specifically in the Master League. And if you're lucky enough, if you can get yourself a shiny, make sure you hold on to it because that is definitely going to net you a really good lucky trade in the future. It's going to be a high priority one that a lot of players are going to want. Yeah, this week is looking pretty good, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think Zacian is going to be the big highlight. But yeah, with that said, that's essentially going to be it for this video. Let me know your thoughts regarding everything that's going to be happening this week within Pokemon Go. Is there a particular thing that you're looking forward to? Is there something related to Zacian that you should be aware of that I did not mention in this video? Definitely share what that is. And yeah, let's all have a great discussion within the comments. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe if it's your first time here. And also don't forget that little notification bell so that you can stay up to date on whenever I upload videos. And I want to shout out all of my patrons on Patreon. You make this channel content possible. If you want to support the Jinsula channel, the best way you can do so is by joining my Patreon. And if you do so, you'll get a permanent spot on my in-game Pokemon Go friends list. So when it comes to stuff like remote raids in the friendship system, if you want to play Pokemon Go with me, then make sure you go and check out my Patreon. And if you want to support my channel in a different way, you could do so by following me on social media. My handle is @Jinsula. I'm on the platforms that you see on screen. Make sure you go over there and give me a follow. With that said, that's going to be it for this video. I'm Jinsula. Be safe, have fun, love yourself, and I'll catch you all later.